Literally every winter I do some light review. The sun goes down at 4 p.m. I live in a small city, not too much city lights out there, and I do a lot of riding in the forest regardless whether it's winter or it's summer. That being said, good light is my priority. This time I'm going to unbox new light. Not only unbox how it behaves outdoors. This light has some features which I'm super curious about. High and low beams and remote control, which I never heard about in the past. It's 1700 lumens, stronger than the light which I have, Syncros Nanaimo. The light itself is tiny and small. It fits in my palm very easily. If we compare it to Syncros Nanomo, it's pretty much half the width. I would love to test the light when there is snow outside and we could feel the winter vibe, but currently it's the beginning of December and the snow is already melted. Apart from the light, there's also the mount, which actually serves as well as navigation device mount, but because it's kind of the same universal mount as GoPro has, won't need it for now. The mounting thing, this one slides on and it clicks, that's it. It holds, pull it and push it. Interesting. And this is remote control. In order not to mess things up, oh, it's easy. You just pull it open. We don't need instructions for that now. Just remove the protection peel. Cover goes into dedicated spaces and that's pretty much it. The light itself is Cetus 1700. I don't know what Cetus means. There is a whale out there. Obviously, before you start riding, you have to turn it on. Oh no. Okay, so I guess that beep means that the light is discharged. And before we jump into the actual showcase how the light works, I can point out that last few years I've been using Syncros Nanaimo, which is and was quite a good light. It's 1200 lumens. In the forest, it's enough for good 1.5 hours at the maximum. However, there is one concerning thing which I had with this light. Whenever it goes towards the end of the battery remaining, you can see now it shows green. For sure it goes to the red and it begins shining less and less intensive until it just stops. I think that type of behavior is bad. It could like blink at least a few times, because usually in the forest I go with two lights, one on the head, one on the bike, and if one fails, at least I have time to stop. And there were times when Syncros Nanaimo just shut off in the downhill, so that's not the best user experience, but probably it is with most of the lights. That said, usually during the winters I go to the south, so I haven't been using it that much, maybe a bit in November and December and beginning of January. The most interesting comparison for me between Gazeron and Syncros will be the battery lifetime, how long it will last, especially in the cold conditions. I have an extensive video where I compare a few lights and show what beam I like and which I hate. So it will be very interesting to see how the Gazeron looks like, and we could maybe try. Oba! It turned on. This one is, I guess, low beam version. This is high beam, because without actually moving the light, it changed the position to high beam. Maybe when you meet someone on the bike path, you can switch instead of covering it, but let's see what this button does. It blinks red. Maybe I have to connect it somehow. Let's see. The instruction means the battery discharged. Kind of strange that this does not work, because the protection was indeed there. Light got blue. I will charge it and hopefully it will connect. Hopefully. Because this remote control, even though it sounds funky, on the Scott Spark, on IC Fraser handlebars, the light is kind of far stretched. It's not very convenient to find that button. And also on the other side, on some lights, like in Syncros Nanaimo, you can just push it and it will drop. So the buttons are in similar places. Nevertheless, we'll see how it goes. Pew pew. I have a saying that packages and instructions are only for those who are not so smart. Well, apparently I have to take that back because I missed to read the title on the box, which says that in order to start the light for the first time, you have to press 5 times within 3 seconds to unlock it. So it's a safety feature which allows the light not to discharge while being in the package. I already tested this in real-life scenario. We'll share the bits of riding with this light soon, but one thing which I wanted to point out specifically is build quality. There are two things about that. The light itself looks extremely durable. By the feeling, it feels premium. Premium thing is only about the light itself. When it comes to accessories, the remote controller is very basic. I guess it serves a purpose, but the strap is not very convenient to put on the handlebars, well, unless you put on something a lot more thicker than casual handlebars on MTB bike. Once you attach it, finish it, well, there is additional strap there. Of course, you could cut it, I guess. This could be better. The attachment to the bike itself, I've been using various things on Spark as well as on my hardtail. For attaching it to the bike, I use GoPro mounts, but there's also the handle which comes in the box. I'm not exactly sure how good this attachment to the light is and how rigid it is. Over time, there is the light, you put it on and it clicks. This is what releases the handle, and this lip a bit disturbed my mounting on the Spark, but mainly it's because I don't have attachment which goes under my Key Edge Garmin mount, which I'm going to use soon enough. But in the package you also have this, which is pretty much very similar as you would get with Garmin. Yet, because I have other mounts on my bike, I haven't used it. But if you use anything which is under your navigation device, lip is no longer an issue and it will work fine. Just because I have custom setup on my Spark, it was a bit different. That's pretty much all about the accessories and gadget which comes with this. And finally I managed to figure out how to work with remote. The only required thing was to pair the remote with the light. Lately I've been using the Syncros Nanaimo light, which did not have any remote controller, so because I've been using it for a while and I haven't looked to other lights available in the market, for me remote controller was a surprise because I was not aware what's in the market in general. It's a nice feature because when the light is under handlebars somewhere stretched in front, you basically don't need to do anything in order to change the light type. Everything can be controlled with remote controllers. Low and high beams each has 2 intensities, so if we go to low, it has either 300 or 450, where high is 600 lumens or 900. Now if you press it twice fast, you can hear additional beep in the light. That enables the highest 1700 lumens because the light is Cetus 1700 and it's supposed to run for 2 hours and a bit. I haven't testified just yet because I've been waiting for the weather in winter to cool down a bit more. So that way we can compare how it behaves in low temperature conditions, because for me personally it's kind of the most interesting thing. Otherwise, normally the light works as expected when it's sub-0 degrees and basically it works screen. Now that being said, I will make a comparison of this, both fully charged, outside in sub-0 degrees, just to see how well they compare. It's already a bit used, but nonetheless I'm wondering whether this can really hold 2 hours, and then it should go into lower power mode, which should last around half hour or so. So we'll see how it goes. One important thing which I noticed, well, at least while I'm inside without any airflow, it gets really hot. So as you have seen, I just hold it there on maximum for a few minutes or so, and I barely can hold it inside my hand because it's really hot. Well, I don't have thermal vision, but I can assure you that it would melt snow really easily. Actually, that's what we could probably try to do as well, but I guess it's not very healthy for battery to go into a cold, so maybe I will prevent that from doing. But nonetheless, because you have remote controller, you basically never touch it anyways. While riding, probably it's never the issue because the airflow just cools down. While Nanaimo was great and still doing quite well, I didn't like that it can basically turn off without any clear evidence. Enough about Nanaimo. Now what I want to point out about the beam itself of this light is that it's kind of rectangular. It starts rectangular, well, for obvious reasons. The light is rectangular in its shape. So from the light you don't have that wide spread from the beginning, but it's really powerful and strong than riding outside. One concern I always have about the light, ideally I would love that it won't have the squares when it's spreading outside, and if you put the light too close to the ground or any objects around, it would look like that, but if it's spreading in front, that issue is no longer an issue, and the light is becoming quite hot already. Let me know which parameter you would want to see compared in real life scenario with this Gazeron 1700 Cetus light. It's 4200 mAh battery. I'm not sure whether it's a lot or not. The cost of this light is from $60 to $80 depending whether there are any offers available at that given time. In the description I will leave you a discount code if you are interested to testify it yourself. I would say that for the cost of 50 to 70 euros or so, it's very strong and powerful light. I'm riding this light in autumn conditions when it was absolutely dark outside. So while for the eyes it was warm enough, for the GoPro, because it's not behaving very well in low light conditions, plus I've been recording in log, it's not very clear how well it lights things up. But have a look how it turned out when the conditions outside became white.
Going into one descent